have you made enemies in certain communities? What do you think about Bitcoin?
So I've made certain enemies in the sort of crypto skeptics space because there's sort of this range of skepticism you can have about cryptocurrency. I'm obviously a skeptic of a lot of it. But there are certain aspects of crypto that I think are inevitable, and I'm going to do my best to kind of describe those here. But I'm not committed to any crypto specifically, but there are some. I've taken a lot of heat, ironically, for not being skeptical enough. There's some people who believe that like the entire thing is a complete waste of time. There r/Buttcoin on Reddit. It's an amazing community, actually. It's very funny. They have
What's a Bitcoin?
it's like a play on Bitcoin. They're just like, at least we admit it's a scam. Very funny guys, very funny people there. So, but they'll be like, Coffeezilla should just admit that all of it's a giant Ponzi scheme. All of it's basically like not real.
So everything, including Bitcoin,
it's all basically all the Ponzi-nomics. It's Ponzi-nomics all the way down. It's like there is no fundamental use case that is that useful. I guess I don't want to straw man them here. I don't want to say that. I don't know if they're saying that it's all useless. At minimum, they're saying the level of interest in cryptocurrencies is the actual usefulness of it is far less than the amount of attention and time and money that's being poured into it. So like the revolutionariness of this technology is not at all revolutionary. Let me kind of steel man what I think the pro crypto take is. I think that technologies are sort of this inert thing. And the success of them, in my opinion, is not based on PR. It's not based on marketing. It's based on cheaper, faster, better. Fundamentally, the success of any technology relies on those three things and longevity of it. So I have 2 employees and both of them are out of the country. So I have to frequently make international wire payments to them.
Is one of them SBF? Just as a reporter, I have to ask.
No.
Okay. All right. He's not on the payroll. Good.
Yeah, I think you'd have to pay me.
I'm trying to do my best Coffeezilla where it's like a hard-hitting investigative question.
It's good. So with these international payments, you face all sorts of slow fees and you face like kind of like this time thing.
Yeah.
And it's this painful process. So if I use different cryptocurrencies, some of them are like really fast, some of them have really low fees. I just believe in a world where digital currencies with fast payments, with cheap payments, revolutionize the global exchange of currency. And I don't know if this is going to include the blockchain. It's just that the blockchain is the first thing that's really embraced truly digital currency, which doesn't need to go through this complicated system of wire transfers and just happens. So I can send you, let's say I want to send you Ethereum or Bitcoin. I can send it to you just as fast if I send you $1 or $1 billion. And I can send it to you just as fast if you're across from me or if you're across the world from me. That I think is a step change and easier, faster, better in terms of like just this really basic international payments kind of idea. So I think at like its core, if the lowest form use case of cryptocurrencies is that, I think it will change the world in some variety. It's just kind of the larger question is that technology going to include the blockchain specifically or not? The other benefit is transparency, which I personally like as an investigator. It's just that previously it's like hard to describe how opaque our financial system is until you've tried to investigate someone or something. Understanding finances, unless you have a subpoena, unless you're like the FBI or like the SEC and you can get a subpoena for someone's finances, or you're going through discovery, you don't know what someone has. You're basically playing poker with everyone and the cards are face down. For the first time, the blockchain, to some extent, because there are ways to obfuscate it, and in some ways, cryptocurrency has enabled more fraud, which is kind of this irony. But in some ways, it's enabled people to also audit a lot better and in real time. And I think that is a structural change that is fundamentally for the better. The question of all this is, do those betters outweigh the cons that this introduces? And how much can regulation mitigate those cons? Some of those cons being like fraud, money laundering, all these negative externalities that are easier with cryptocurrency.
Why do you think cryptocurrency in particular seems to attract fraudulent people, like scammers and fraudsters?
Because it's unregulated, it's the Wild West, and you can transmit large amounts of money very quickly across the world.
What about
with very little oversight?
Creating new crypto projects, like new coins?
Because you have to show very little actual use case. You can just promise. So it's like true of any emerging technology. So much vaporware happens at the beginning when it's all promise. Because fundamentally, let's say you're legitimate, I'm illegitimate. We look the same at the start of a technology because both of us are promising what this can do. And in fact, the less scruples and morals I have, in some ways, I can outcompete you because I can say mine does what Lex's does, but like way better and way faster, and it's going to happen in a year rather than 10 years. You're being honest. I'm playing a dishonest game. I look better. Once this space matures and you actually have some people actually doing the things that they say they're going to do, suddenly this equation changes. Now you're Amazon, you're delivering in 2 days. I can say whatever I want. You do the thing you do, and I have no credibility. So I think the part of the fraud is, just the ability to transmit so much money so quickly with such little oversight. Part of it is this just happens with any emergent technology. Vaporware is a real thing. And hopefully, as this space matures, as regulation comes in, things will improve.